Hey, it's Raf and I'm 6 weeks on T and I actually don't have a lot to report. Not a lot of changes. Pimples improved a little bit, itchiness improved a little bit, and hot flashes seem to be gone, and that's about it. I do have my appointment tomorrow with the doctor to see like where I'm at with my levels and my changes and stuff, so we'll see how that goes and I'll update you guys then. And yeah, so for today I figured I would talk about how I picked my name. Changing my name was really quite the journey because I had to really work in giving myself permission to change it. For the longest time, I really felt like I needed external permission to change it. And it took a lot of thinking and a lot of reflection to really come to terms with wanting to change it and to allow myself to change it. It was almost as hard as like coming out to myself. And once I finally allowed myself to change my name, actually picking a name was a whole other journey. A big part of that was because there's like a bit of a naming convention in my family that I was trying to keep in mind when I was choosing my name. My dad's name starts with an S and my mom's name starts with an M. And because they were extra, they gave me and my brother matching initials. So my brother and I both have birth names where the first name starts with an S and the second name or middle name starts with an M. And so I like told myself I'm gonna look for masculine names that start with S and that start with M. And the M name was actually the easiest one to find. Like I picked Mateo almost immediately, and it felt really good. It just felt right, and I don't really know why or how. And so I went with that as my second name. For the first name, it was way harder because I was really looking through all the S names I could find, and nothing really seemed to fit right for me. And I did consider just masculinizing my current first name, which is like Stephanie, so I figured why not go with Stefan. And I thought about it, but it didn't really feel right, and I didn't want to go in that direction. And so I was asking myself, what if I didn't have to pick an S name? Like, what other names would I have on the list if I didn't have to go with the S, like, first letter? I kind of like looked at different names and like really thought about it and like did some reflecting. And so I kind of narrowed down my search to 3 names that felt really good to me and that I felt pretty strongly about, and that was Diego, Dante, and Rafael. I was really drawn to Dante and Diego as names because they started with the letter D, and when I was androgynous slash butch slash gender non-conforming, I had a nickname which was Deli, and that starts with a D, and it's like taken from my last name. And so like that was a nickname I went by for a good while, and so Dante and Diego felt like kind of similar and like had an attractive sound to me. And I thought the name Diego sounded really cool, even if that's like the name of Dora the Explorer's cousin or whatever. What ultimately like made me not choose to go with Diego was because I had like brief like whatever with a dude in college whose name was Diego, and we kind of started chatting again platonically, and it would have been like really weird if I like switched to that name. I was really drawn to the name Dante because when I was in college, like I was like 18 or 19, I was writing this story about a medieval princess who like ran away from home and became a knight in a neighboring kingdom. And so when she was a princess, the name she was going by was Haley. And when she assumed a male identity in the other kingdom, she went by the name Dante. And there's like just a lot of symbolism there that I felt was appropriate to my current journey. I was really leaning towards Dante for a little bit. So for a little while, it was a really close tie between the Dante name and the Raphael name. And I really liked the Raphael name because, one, I watched Jane the Virgin and I really liked Raphael's character. And 2, Raphael Sanso is one of my favorite Renaissance painters. Like, School of Athens is a work of art. And then my favorite Ninja Turtle is Raph. So, there we go. And also the whole like Raph with an F versus Raph with a PH kind of thing felt really like it resonated with the whole Steph with an F versus Steph with a PH struggle that I've had since childhood. And there was this like kind of a sound to it that was a little bit similar to my birth name, and I don't know, like I like the R sound at the beginning too, like the letter R is pretty cool. Like I said, I was really torn between Dante and Raphael for a good while, and I would kind of say it to myself out loud a lot. And when I was walking my dog Juno at night, I would often practice saying the names out loud, like trying them out with my last name, introducing myself, like practicing with Juno, introducing myself with like either name. And I just kept ping-ponging between Raphael and Dante for a little bit until I eventually made a poll on Twitter where I asked people, should I go by Raphael Mateo or Dante Mateo? And there was such a positive reaction to the name Raphael for me, and even my partner like seemed to really like it for me. And I had a lot of friends tell me that I look like a Raph and I seem like a Raph, and that felt good. And it wasn't that like I picked it because a lot of people voted that. I also know that I really liked it, and I don't know how to explain how right I think it felt for me when I was trying it out. And eventually I decided I wanted to test drive Raf as a name for myself. And at first I started with just kind of practicing with my partner, like using that name. And then eventually I asked like a few of my neighbors to refer to me with the new name. And they were really chill about it. They were really cool about it. And like I really liked it, and I started to really gain confidence using it. And eventually I told my coworkers and started using the new name at work, and the rest is just following. And it feels really good. I really like this name. Yeah, I still don't know how to edit videos, and I'm still gonna be awkward about it. Oh well. So we'll see how my doctor appointment tomorrow goes with my levels and my dosage, and we'll see what happens there. And yeah, see you next week. Bye.